All right, here comes section 3, and this is an excerpt from chapter 4 of The Great Gatsby. Then came the war, old sport. It was a great relief, and I tried very hard to die, but I seemed to bear an enchanted life. I accepted a commission as first lieutenant when it began. In the Argonne Forest, I took 2 machine gun detachments so far forward that there was a half-mile gap on either side of us where the infantry couldn't advance. We stayed there 2 days and 2 nights, 130 men with 16 Louis guns, and when the infantry came up at last, they found the insignia of 3 German divisions among the piles of dead. I was promoted to be a major, and every Allied government gave me a decoration. Even Montenegro, little Montenegro down on the Adriatic Sea. Little Montenegro. He lifted up the words and nodded at them with his smile. The smile comprehended Montenegro's troubled history and sympathized with the brave struggles of the Montenegrin people. It appreciated fully the chain of national circumstances which had elicited this tribute from Montenegro's warm little heart. My incredulity was submerged in fascination now. It was like skimming hastily through a dozen magazines. He reached in his pocket, and a piece of metal, slung on a ribbon, fell into my palm. That's the one from Montenegro. To my astonishment, the thing had an authentic look. Orderi di Danilo, ran the circular legend. Montenegro Nicholas Rex. Turn it. Major J. Gatsby, I read, for valor extraordinary. All right, so see what you think about that passage. Again, remember you're deciding how Nick feels about Gatsby. Does Nick believe Gatsby? Does Nick believe he was involved in the war? Does he, here he has this medal. He says it looks authentic, but at the same time, he just happens to have it in his pocket. So think about those things as you decide on your rating, and then explain why you feel that way. All right. Last section, section 4. Here's another thing I always carry, a souvenir of Oxford days. It was taken in Trinity Quad. The man on my left is now the Earl of Dorchester. It was a photograph of half a dozen young men in blazers loafing in an archway through which were visible a host of spires. There was Gatsby, looking a little not much younger, with a cricket bat in his hand. Then it was all true. I saw the skins of tigers flaming in his palace on the Grand Canal. I saw him opening a chest of rubies to ease, with their crimson-lighted depths, the gnawings of his broken heart. I'm going to make a big request of you today, he said, pocketing his souvenirs with satisfaction. So I thought you ought to know something about me. I didn't want you to think I was just some nobody. You see, I usually find myself among strangers, because I drift here and there trying to forget the sad thing that happened to me. He hesitated. You'll hear about it this afternoon. All right, so it appears that Gatsby wants Nick to do him a favor. We don't know what that is yet, but because he's going to ask a favor of Nick, he wanted to make sure that Nick knew things about him, knew who he was, knew his past, knew where he came from. So after this section 4, again, decide how much do you think Nick believes? Do you think he completely trusts him? Or do you think he thinks he's a liar, pants on fire? And then type in your response here where you can explain how you truly, or why you chose that rating.